Oh, it's just a mess. This is all this equipment stuff.
Yep. Cables, wires.
Come along with Shy as we take this ride to where coffee time is every time.
Cool. All right. We're good.
All right.
What's up, dude?
Not much, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me in your home. This is like my second time like coming outside my house. And I'm still in growing pains with this thing. So like
This is your fourth
episode. Yeah. So the first two with Holly and Brent, they were in my house. So they were like, well, the wife was like, you need to clean. So it was like clean the entire house. And they only went into the office. They didn't even do anything. They didn't even go to the restroom. So it was like, but you still, you want to be a good host and you want to clean up all your stuff. And like, ultimately, I want to take this to the road and like get into other people's spaces. And I'm more than willing to have people come to my own home. But to have to be in someone else's house, I kind of feel bad because I know you cleaned.
Oh, I did. I was up till 3 last night.
Oh my God. Dude, so now I feel bad.
It wasn't just you though. I had
Okay.
to get the space nice and clean, ready for, just my mental space to work on the next video. So
Do you like start from scratch? Like, do you purge?
I purge everything.
Like, what's your purge process? Like when you finish a video? Because like after I finish a video, it's chaos.
Yeah, I put everything away. I vacuum, I dust, get the room like all organized, and then it's immediately just back into chaos. Shift the table back. Like I shift it, I get it nice and square, and then I move it, the next day to start recording and doing the.
So it's like a mental reset.
Yeah, I think it's just that mental reset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that so? I know you could kind of see it with the middle cam. You have two cameras pointing this way. We have two light boxes, and all this is a mess on the side. And how quickly that got like chaotic. And even here, it's not even that clean either. We have this.
Yeah, it's just the nature of recording and filming and YouTubing.
It's funny, like because that when we do stuff like this, or when we're out and about and we're collabing or we're vlogging, like we automatically understand like the switch of like talking, the way you sound, the talk, and all that kind of stuff. But like setting up, like being in someone else's space, like with Holly and Brent coming over to my house, watching me set up. It was still chaotic, and I was kind of embarrassed because it was a mess. I kind of wanted them to see the space like
nice and prestige.
Nice and prestige. I mean, Holly was like, "Oh, I like how you hide it all over here." I'm like, "No. This is technically put away." I had to bring. I just didn't want you to sit here and watch me set up for 30 minutes, like as you were watching me set up all this for like 35 minutes, and I was trying to time myself. Again, this is like growing pains for me, so I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing. I know last episode with Fred, I look at the playback and I'm like, ooh, this is bad. And to be fair, and thank you to Bricks and Minifigs, if you're watching this again.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, Ontario, Raf. By this point, should be opening up their Corona location soon.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, so there's so many Bricks and Minifigs in SoCal. None up here.
That'll be the closest to me, I think.
Well, sounds
that or slow.
That's slow. That's pretty close.
That's like 2.5 hours. So it's
still.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's where my parents live there. So, and actually, it's longer because of the flooding from last year.
You can't.
The lake, you can't go through.
Oh, dude, that's lame.
Yeah, so it's like 2:45 now.
I think slow would be one of my favorite Bricks and Minifigs.
It's really. I didn't even know it was there. I was walking and then I saw it, but it was closed that day. So we went back the next day, and it's super clean. Well, just Slow in general is.
Oh, I love Slow.
It's one of the nicest towns in California. If anybody hasn't been there, definitely visit it.
It's a balance of everything you would love about California.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I want to move there. That's essentially where Venus and I want to move to. I don't foresee it happening if we were to move anywhere else. Because I think you and I are the last ones here.
Yeah.
Claire went bye-bye. And so it's just like...
There's no one else.
There's no one else. And like, it's just getting more expensive. And we were fortunate to buy houses before it got stupid.
I know. Yeah.
Like I was at a party yesterday and I was just talking to this couple. Like it was a kids party. So we weren't getting stupid. But it was at a kids party. So, kids go play and the parents just sit in the chairs. And then we were talking about like how expensive and how impossible it is to buy bigger. Right. Because now, Venus and I are at the point where we want to buy a bigger house. We could afford a bigger house.
It's interest rate.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Not with the interest rate and excruciating high price points that these houses are not worth.
And they're not selling anymore. They're
dropping.
Yeah.
Yeah, these houses are dropping. So but the interest rates are still high.
Yeah,
so it's like
it's not a good, it's terrible to be a buyer.
So, I like seeing all the people who are fortunate enough to have bought in a house, but I feel bad for the people that are trying. Yeah. And we're kind of in that same boat. Oh, look, it's me.
Oh, yeah. That's my special shelf.
There we go. I forgot to bring your minifig.
Oh,
Whoops.
you had another minifig?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, nice. Oh, I would have gone right there.
Yeah, it was.
I'll have
it
to
was
get B-roll of that.
But we were fortunate to buy a house, but we want to buy a bigger house, and now it's like impossible. So like, what do we do? And I kind of feel bad for all the people that can't afford a house.
I know it sucks.
And we're still here in California, and like, it's just crazy to like live.
Yeah, the crazy thing is how big California is, and there's not like where all the content creators are elsewhere. It's
like
the biggest state in the union, and there's like a handful.
Texas. Okay, we're gonna talk about you. But yeah, there's like a handful of us. Well, I mean,
unless there's people we don't know.
I feel like there's a lot of creators like not in Lego.
Yeah, not
like
Lego. Yeah,
in
for
the
sure.
metropolitan.
Gaming and stuff
for sure.
is LA big time vloggers, stuff like that.
But with the taxing what you're getting for it, I don't think it's just worth it. So I could see why people would move elsewhere, like Tejas. And I'm trying to move out to Texas, but I don't. Or anywhere outside. I mean, we're trying to play with the idea of moving out of California, but a piece of me doesn't want to move out of California.
It's hard to leave.
Yeah,
I know for me, it's a lot of it's family and stuff. I mean, if my family was elsewhere, it would be a lot easier, I think, to justify leaving. But we're fortunate here too. This is probably one of the lowest cost of livings in California. This area, outside of electricity in the summer, but like the cost of living, the housing, housing prices and stuff are a lot lower than like where you are or up north. So.
My house fits in your living room.
We are fortunate there. Otherwise, it would be, I think it would be a little bit easier to make that decision, but kind of made this house our own. So that's also, I think, a hard part too.
I love your home, dude. It's really pretty.
Thank you. Yeah.
Nice.
When you make a house your own and then to have to leave that, I think it's really tough.
Letting go is a hard part. Family is a big deal.
Yeah,
especially
that's the biggest thing by far.
When you have kids.
Yeah.
Because like, let's say we were to move to any other state, random, doesn't we don't have friends unless we move to like Austin or like Florida. Yeah. But like let's say move to like some random state Wyoming, we don't know anybody.
Yeah.
So what happens to when we need a babysitter? Like it's not easy to just hire a random babysitter to watch your children. You don't want to do that.
No.
So, we want to leave them with people that we trust. And if you trust your own family, then that's an easy like, hey, can we do this? Blah, blah, pay whatever, or I'll do this. But when you move to a completely new state, it's like you got to start from scratch with building rapport with friends and people and trust, which takes like years.
100%.
And then it's funny, like when I watch, I never thought this would be me. Like I always thought, like as a parent, like I would, as I grew, having my own kids, like my friends would also have their own kids, and then they would just automatically play. But that's not how life works, right? You move away, you live in, you find homes to wherever your jobs are or where you can find a home, apparently nowadays. And then now your kids have to start from scratch, right? Or you take them to another schools because schools in LA are all weird. So you try to find the best school for your kid that you can afford, or you can, luckily get into, like for us. So, but what I'm trying to get at is like finding a play date.
Oh, I know.
Like I never thought that I would create a relationship based on a play date.
It's wild to think about.
Right? Yeah. It's just weird. I don't know. We kind of went on a huge tangent on that one, but what do we have in front of us?
We have Minecraft sets.
We have Minecraft.
You never built one, have you?
No, I haven't. Well, so I bought my son a Minecraft set. So I don't know squat about Minecraft. Let's just open this up. So so we're gonna build these,
or at least as much as we can.
Yeah, I mean,
they're smaller. They're like small. 400 pieces.
Yeah, no,
Minecraft sets are actually, I think they're the most therapeutic sets to build because there's basically no technique. It's just block building, which to me is the most fun part of Lego. Is just the block building. I love that style.
Well, this is my first Minecraft.
There you go. And you get a giant purple base plate.
Right? So, there we go.
The first bag will always have like all the characters.
I don't even know who these are. Like, who are these characters? I don't even know.
None of them should be named. They're just like skins. Because in Minecraft, you can change your skin. Basically, you can be whatever you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first bag is always that stuff.
The
crafting tables, those sort of things.
Everyone's listening to all the crumbling in the background. Whatever. Hey, this is Lego. This is life, right?
Yeah, come on.
Right?
What did you expect with the background behind?
Like in live stream, everyone's like, "Oh, can you turn that off?" I'm like, look, dude, this is what you do in real life.
Yeah.
Just you're with us in the room, guys.
Exactly.
So, all right. So I guess we're
just building.
Yeah, we're just building and chatting. So we just unable to mute ourselves. So that's the only problem, which is cool. This is different. Like I said, I don't know what this is going to look like. Us not looking at each other primarily and looking down building.
Well, you can, when people are building on Twitch, they build pretty slow and, look at chat.
Yeah.
I guess that is looking at each other.
So this isn't a named character. This is just some random person with a shield and Minecraft
That actually
sword?
might be Alex. I think.
Okay.
Let's see. It should say on the
I mean, I know what this Minecraft sword is. My son has one.
Royal Warrior. It says.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I know Minecraft in like, you know, I guess secondary through like you guys that always talk about it, your videos, or anyone, or Anti-Stud.
Yeah.
Cheesy Studios, Cheesy Studios, any of them. Yeah, I'll that's the extent of it. But my kid, like so my son, he watches YouTube 2 hours out of the week. That's when he's allotted. Like that's it. On the week, he can watch 2 hours out of the weekend. However he decides to cut up that time is on him. So it's funny watching like the kind of content he watches. And one of the things he's not allowed to watch is shorts. So he can't watch shorts.
That's for the best.
Yeah. And he can't watch other kids playing toys.
Yeah, because it's
just weird.
It is weird when you think about it too. Yeah, especially as a kid, because like
or adults playing. I know it's weird because we're adults playing toys, but he can't because I don't trust the adults. Like I want to see if he is watching something like that. I want to be there and see what he's doing. And occasionally there'll be a Lego video, and it's usually like Brick Science or like TD.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, cool. And then but he watches a lot of Minecraft, and he knows so much about it, and he doesn't play the game.
Oh, at all?
No, because we don't let him play video games. Well, I'm gonna take that back. My wife doesn't let him play video games. She just doesn't want him to be addicted to it. I'm like, he'll be fine.
Is there any age where like?
I don't know. I've been trying to get him into Switch for like ever. I have him playing like app games on my phone, like when we're at like like the restaurant or something like that. He'll bust out like there's a couple games and activities that he can do while he's like like on the phone, as opposed to like being on YouTube or watching a movie or something like that. So at least games on my phone are interactive. So there are some things like this game that I play. It's called like Mushroom Wars.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so we'll play that. So he's into that.
Okay.
But he doesn't really play. Or sorry, my wife doesn't allow me to buy like a Switch, which I'm like begging for. I'm like, I want to play the new Mario Kart. And I bought a Nintendo 64 recently, just for nostalgia purposes. And both my kids love playing Super Smash Bros. Because it has everything. It has Pokemon. It has like, I
love Smash.
It has everything.
Terrible at it, but it's a fun game.
But they play it all day and they have fun with it. And they'll occasionally play Mario Kart. So I'm like, well, this is like 64. I love it for nostalgia purposes, but I don't know. I mean, they're enjoying it. It's like their first like real experience with video games. Yeah. So when he's watching these YouTube videos, especially like this, and he hasn't really been like begging me to get a console or some sort. So like, the thing is, like, I used to play a lot of video games as a kid and as an adult too, before my children were born. But a lot of them were violent, like Grand Theft and Assassin's Creed. Like those are the things I played. And then one day I was playing Assassin's Creed when my son was really small, and he was like, "What's that red stuff?" I'm like, "Oh, it's over." So why does Minecraft do so well? Like, why is it such a win when anybody does something revolving around this?
I mean, I think it. Well, I mean, I guess now the biggest game of all time. Yeah. It's, unless you count Tetris, maybe there's like a toss up there. But I think just the fact that it's kind of like Lego, where you can build anything. It's just whatever you can imagine is what you can create. Yeah. And I think the simplicity of the game is what takes it to that next level, because anybody can enjoy it. I mean, from there's 4-year-olds playing it to there's me playing it, and there's people older than me playing it. So like it really is a game for anybody. And I think that speaks volumes. Obviously, I'm sure it's a lot bigger with kids, but like there's still plenty of people. You just look on YouTube at how many Minecraft YouTubers there are. It's probably one of the largest things on YouTube. And I just think that creativity aspect of it, the fact that you can do whatever you want, what sets it apart. And just being blocks, like maybe there's some of that, like it's kind of tied to that Lego feel to it.
It doesn't feel too real.
Yeah.
Like especially when you're fighting each other or destroying stuff.
Yeah. And that's why I'm like, maybe this is me being biased, but if there's any game I think a young kid can play, it's Minecraft. Or like there's a lot of creativity when you're playing the game. So it's like I can justify a kid being able to play that, because you don't just sit there and mindlessly tap and do things. You actually have to think about things. You make decisions like, oh, I want to build this, and then you have to get the resources to do that, and then you have to come up with a plan. So there's like strategic.
Does it teach you a little bit about computers? Like if you're playing on a computer?
A little bit, yeah. And there's
like requirements and things you would need to play properly.
That, and there's like the redstone aspect, which is kind of similar to circuitry. I don't know if you've heard about the redstone stuff. It's
Not
like
really.
it's basically like wiring.
Oh, okay.
In the game.
Yeah.
So you can make like functional. You get like pistons, and you can make functional blocks and stuff. So it's actually like basically real life programming in Minecraft, which is
that's cool.
Which is pretty neat.
I mean, I've seen some of the stuff that my kid watches, and he does. He's pulled up the Mr. Beast ones. Every now and then, like paying people to build these mansions and stuff like that. And those are like you're building. I'm looking at the people building these giant worlds. I'm like,
crazy.
What? So is there a purpose? Like, is there a storyline, a campaign, like something?
There's a very limited like the actual to beat the game. You just have to kill what's called the Ender Dragon. After that, that's technically the end credits of the game. But there's no ending. Like you just go back into the world after you beat them. The game is endless, essentially.
Yeah. It's just an endless open world concept.
That just it's completely open world. So in some ways, it can be overwhelming to some people having that like unlimited possibility. And I feel that some ways sometime when I'm playing, like, man, what do I do?
Can you just go to anyone's like? So what I'm confused about is like I remember when like Sans and Ryan were like trying to hype everybody. Yeah, and then like
I was part of that.
Yeah, so like in the beginning they were trying to create the dimensions of how big this place is going to be, like whatever, and then figuring out what exactly Cheesy does for a living as far as when in relation to Minecraft. Like, so if you make your own world, how do people get there? You just
like join your world or whatever?
Like do you just say, oh, here you can here's a
So there's different ways. You can have like what's called just a single player world. So it's just only you can play on it, obviously. And then you can make a server so people can join it. And then I know through like Switch and stuff, it's a lot easier to join people's worlds. Like you can just add them as a friend and then join their world. But you as a parent can control that, which I think is nice too.
Yeah, so you could have control. There. Okay,
you can make it so that they can only play by themselves, which I think is the best. You know, that's the safest thing.
So I don't have to worry about Sans coming in and destroying my kids.
You wouldn't have to worry about that.
Building and him crying.
He might try to hack in there.
He probably would. All right, so I mean that's cool. I mean, I guess I'm more open to the idea of it. I mean, like I like I said, only experience I have with it is just secondary through like my friends and all whatsoever my kids watching. So I don't really know much about it. It's funny that Lego is like so parallel with like the just visual aspects of what it can be.
Yeah, very, very much similar. Like,
and how many of the sets do you have?
Oh man, probably up to like 50 or 60. I'm trying to get them all, and that's going to be a
video on itself, right? Yeah, having every single Minecraft video or Minecraft set.
Yep. That's
are the older ones like super expensive?
It's weird. Only a few. There's 3 or 4 maybe that are pretty pricey. One is the Mountain Cave. That's like up to almost $2,000 now.
Why? Like what determines it's like? I get Star Wars. Why a set would be expensive?
There's just a few exclusive pieces in there. There's like.
Is it just a print?
2 or 3. Yeah, it's like
it's
one of the
mobs. Brick. So it's not even a brick. It's a print.
It might be. I can't say for sure, but it's like just a few exclusive either pieces or like parts of the mobs that are only in that set. And that's actually the biggest set they've ever made. It's like a 2,000 or 3,000 set piece or piece
so
set.
How much is that? Like $200?
It was. It probably retailed for like It might have even been a D2C set because it's pretty big. It's like. Kind of like the size of those roller coaster boxes or whatever in the other.
Oh yeah. I mean, I know what it looks like. Because when I see Minecraft sets, like I bought the set that you're building like 20 million times for children for birthday parties. Like it's an easy gift. It's an easy gift. Like I know all kids like Minecraft. That one's a sword. Minecraft swords are like memeable, I guess. So like mine as well. I saw the llama like yesterday.
Oh,
when
that's
I was
a cool
at,
set.
Yeah, the big one.
Right there.
You have it?
Yeah, I did that in one of my videos. Cool.
Yeah, I'm like, I was looking at it, I was just admiring, like, this is funny, but I don't know the context of it. It just looks funny.
Yeah, I mean, that's not even in the game. That's just like the designers taking the llama from Minecraft and then building a
big version of it. Yeah. So it's a meme.
Yeah, basically.
This is what it is. And I think that's what gravitated me towards it and asking that question, like, what is Minecraft? Because I honestly feel so old.
Minecraft's for everybody. Don't.
No. Like it's gonna come. Like when you just don't understand like what like is happening like around you, especially because I watched a video on YouTube. Like it was Brett Cooper teaching Ben Shapiro all the words that Gen Z uses.
Oh gosh.
I'm like, okay, what words like
Don't I know? Yeah.
the slang that children use now, like the further you get away from, the young 20s slang, which, teenage emulate and then makes it their own and then just becomes more distance from those 20 it just happens. And then you're just like, wow, I never thought I'd find the time or day that I'm my parents.
And then we become cringe or whatever.
I know. It's so bad. But I am excited to make my children uncomfortable with me using their slang or terminal. I can't
that's going to be
wait.
so funny.
I mean, I would love to dab in front of them, but they're not going to know what that is. They're complete
Which is
generation.
funny. That's like, now that's cringe to do that.
Exactly. And but my kids are generation A, alpha.
Oh, alpha. Okay.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, 2010, I think, on above is alpha.
And then above that is Gen Z. That's what I'm technically.
Yeah, you're technically beginning of Z.
Yeah, right at the beginning.
Yeah, beginning of Z. Like I was beginning of millennials.
Yeah.
So the millennial one is a pretty big one, but it's just understanding like the likes and like what they're into. It's just a lot of the times I'm like, why? Like the Gen Z haircut. That's what I call the Gen Z haircut. Like some of my kids, like my friends' kids, they have like the shaved head, shaved like fade, but they have the puffy curly hair. Yeah. So I call it the Gen Z haircut, and like they have it. I just look at them. I'm like, wow, you care. I miss the times when you just had questions and wanted to understand everything I do in my life. Now I just think I'm a loser.
Yeah, I think having my nephews, mainly my nephews, my nieces are too young, but they keep me up to date on. My nephew Carter, the oldest one, will literally come up and be like, "Hey, Uncle Mikey, have you heard of this meme?" And he'll explain the meme. I'm like, I haven't heard of that one, and so then it kind of keeps me up to date.
But you relate to it still, though. Like
I can still understand it.
There's an understanding of like millennial and Gen X a little bit, right? Because we were last to play outside type of deal, not having too much tech, but like getting into it. But we also had but my generation, the first one with tech that we can reach and understand, and like social media, which then relates to Gen Z, but not Gen X. So there's a gap.
Yeah.
Gen Alpha, you'll have a lot in common, but there's going to be a hint of disconnect of like lack of understanding with why they do what they do.
And why they think something's funny or
yeah, exactly. And then you're gonna think because we got hit all the time with how our generation is horrible and stuff like that.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and then
each generation.
Yeah, we do the same thing to Z. And I'm like, oh god,
these Gen Zers,
stop. And then they're gonna do the same thing to you, and then we're gonna laugh and be like, I told you so.
Yep.
I wonder how that's gonna take with Lego content, as we age, right? Do you think about it, like the creators that have been here for a long time that are still around, thankfully, are like Jang, and how much they had to, or he had to, or those like him had to adjust, Brickstar, which I'm happy that they're still around, and I love watching their content. But I remember, shout out to Brickitect, he shouted out TD Bricks once on a live stream or in a video, and back then TD was just doing just mocks videos. Yeah, mock videos.
Which are insanely good. Yeah.
Yeah. At the time, they were really good. I remember I call them the teenagers.
The mockers.
The mockers.
Yeah.
Because they had their own little, their setup was always pro, and they just look good doing what they're doing. Not like them. I'm talking about what they're.
Yeah.
I'm talking about their creations and how they're filming it. It just felt very modern as an expectation of a regular YouTube video, like today, right? Mm-hmm. And now 100%. Look at them.
Yeah, now
they've completely meted themselves, as you would say, and they've broken the glass ceiling of where you can be.
And it's getting higher and higher every day. It's what TD and Sacred and those guys have been able to do is kind of crazy, and the opportunity it affords a lot of younger or not younger, but newer creators is crazy because. I think there's sometimes jealousy when you see big creators doing well and oh man, I'm never going to be able to do well because he takes all the views or whatever. There's that misconception, but
no,
that just broadens the audience for everyone else. Just think about some of his videos are getting 30+ million views.
Oh yeah,
which means there's 30 million plus people that watched a Lego video,
which would then promote other Lego videos.
Exactly. So. Yeah. It's only a net positive for everybody else in the space.
I agree.
Even, maybe not for people that would do reviews, but even then there could be some trickle down of people man, I really like Lego. I'm really interested in this. And then they start doing a little bit more research, and then they get into collecting, and then
I got one of those instances where a Marine was watching a TD. He clicked on a TD video. It was a military one that he did. Yeah. So he like created a Lego army or whatever it is. And I watched it, and I remember like just reading the comments and see who's watching and see how react. Because I'm generally curious about how like Lego actual fandom and those outside of it perceive Lego military. It's just a fascination with me, and obviously you know why I'm invested into it. But I had a DM a while back with like, hey, I found you through watching one of these videos. I didn't know this was a thing. Like I just thought he generally thought that the Lego content that is readily available is what TD's doing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he just assumed, because you look at a TD video, that's the same type of style point with a lot of visually like creative toy type of editing, right? Mm-hmm. So like it's entertainment. That's pretty much what it is.
Pretty much.
So he was expecting that to be like brought in throughout the entire Lego space.
There's nothing else.
But he typed in Lego military, because now he typed in that, and I pop up first, and he found me that way. He found me on Instagram and just started talking that way. So like
that's a perfect example.
That's a perfect example of the benefit of having someone break through that ceiling. Because for a while it's always like it's Jang, Beyond the Brick, Ryan, I guess. But it's like very specific to Star Wars, or very specific to
it's very niched down. Mm-hmm. Like there's only so much room to grow.
It's hard to grab people from that. Like how do you search for that? Lego Star Wars, I guess, is easy, but like the outside spaces like Lego Castle, you're not going to search Lego Castle unless you're a Lego fan.
And I think sometimes if you're only doing Lego Star Wars or Lego Marvel or whatever it is, you kind of limit yourself there too in terms of how popular that IP is at any given time. You can say the same about like how popular Lego is, but Lego encompasses everything. Mm-hmm. So if you're just Lego Star Wars, just Lego Marvel, or even Minecraft for that matter, you kind of limit yourself in terms of you're at the whim of the popularity of that. Minecraft YouTube has gone through its ebbs and flows of popularity. Like the super high was 2019 or 2020, where it was just insane, and it's probably come down a little bit, but it's still hugely popular. Because Lego is a niche in itself, but then the more you niche down, the more that ceiling lowers and lowers. The further you niche down.
I noticed that with myself, just doing Lego military stuff. I was just slowly growing.
Yep.
And then I started doing other stuff, and then I started growing bigger because I'm just opening up my audience. But now at the point I'm just lost. So, but not doing the military stuff actually has helped me financially because I'm not spending all this money on.
Yeah, because that stuff is
Lego sets.
Insane.
Yeah, and then reviewing is not fun anymore. But I'm like, well, you could do a review in like 60 seconds as a reel or a short.
Honestly, that's kind of the way to go. I think for myself, I've been very intentional with the few videos that I've done so far.
Oh, they're very intentional
in this style. Like, just like also the themes of the videos. Like, I don't want to limit myself and set an expectation that like I'm a Lego Minecraft YouTuber or I'm a Lego Lord of the Rings YouTuber or whatever. I want to be able to do whatever I want, as wide and reach as wide of an audience as possible.
Where are you at now as far as growth?
I'm at 27.
Damn, you're almost
28.
30.
And I think I haven't checked, but I'm pretty sure my Minecraft video, the first one I did in this new style, I think just hit 1 million today.
Oh, congratulations.
So that's really exciting. And hopefully that's one of just many to reach that mark. But yeah, I've been very intentional with how I obviously edit the videos and the topics and stuff, but just in terms of not limiting myself in what I want to do. So just kind of, I want to do this video. I want to do that video. I want to, I have.
So let's break it down right quick. So, cause I know there'll probably be people listening to this that might want to understand exactly what you're doing. So let's start from the very get-go of like brainstorming an idea to make a video, and then start with going into packaging and actually filming the content. Cause obviously it all starts with packaging.
Yeah.
And then the video itself, the first hook, and then the video itself. So like, what is your process on that? And what exactly are you doing so people understand like what you're getting at?
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess you can lump me in with like the TD style or whatever you want to call it, the fast-paced Lego YouTube, where it's kind of in the same realm of a lot of places on YouTube where it's the idea-based creator. I don't know if you've probably heard that term before. That's kind of where I'm going at this point, where it's the big part of the video, the big sell is it's the idea, not necessarily my personality.
Example?
Like Minecraft sets are illegal, and that's like, whoa, what does that mean? And you catch the people from the get-go, like they're very curious as to what that means. And that first 10 seconds of the video is always the most important. And that should be for any YouTube video, but especially for like an idea-based creator, that's like the hook. That 10 seconds is 10 to 30, really. That first 30 seconds is the most important by far of the entire video. Because if you lose people in the first 30 seconds, your video is done. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for. I'm going for the idea-based creator. So every video I think, or every video I start to ponder on is, what's the idea, and is this idea good enough to be a full video, basically. So like the video I'm working on right now is the theme park, which TD actually just did.
I wasn't gonna say it, but TD just did it.
He did, and you can check the logs. I have that video written down from a long time ago. So I actually sent him logs. I sent him an email. I was like, hey, I had this idea a while back, and I saw you just recently did it, and I'm curious, like, is it okay if I also do a video like that with my own touches on it? And he responded like, yeah, totally fine, which is cool to see.
So the mutual respect is really, it says something that a lot of people, you don't see. Yeah. Because you see a lot of like copying, and what my generation should be like biting off each other, you know? And in the YouTube game, there's a lot of influence, right?
100%.
And we all acknowledge that happens, but to go out of your way to be like, hey, I'm also doing the same idea, you cool with it?
Yeah,
because you didn't have to do that.
No, I don't owe them necessarily anything. Nobody owes each other anything like that. But I would feel weird posting a video that's that similar, and try to claim it as I'm the first one or whatever.
Especially if it's an idea based.
Yeah,
because those are very specific.
Because it's, essentially the same. Not that it's that revolutionary of an idea. It's just lots of people have Lego theme parks. People doing their Lego cities. So it's not like it's, oh, I'm the first person who thought of it. It's just in that style. Unfortunately, or fortunately, he did it first, which actually probably very beneficial for my upload, because that video is now his most performing by an insane amount. It's like above 50 million, which is mind blowing. So it only probably will hopefully help my video. But yeah, like I would have felt weird, at least not even asking. Or been like, hey, I'm going to do a video like this. Just let you know, I also had a similar idea. I don't want you to think I'm like copying you.
And just in case someone else decides to rub it in his face, like, oh, you're just copying whatever. Like,
I'm sure I'll get comments like that, because with 50 million people watching that video, there's going to be some people overlap, and they're like, hey, this guy did. I'm like, well,
yeah, I know, but having to explain yourself that, it just helps engagement. Screw it. Who cares? Yeah. Go ahead. Talk trash all you want.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes I find comments funny now. At first, when I posted my first video, sometimes I would take it personally, not personally, but I'm like, man, why did this person think that? Or like, why are they saying that about me?
What are your I guess triggers that you can't not answer? Like now, like today in comparison. Because before you would probably answer a lot.
Yeah, that's tough. I've stopped responding to most comments now, because it's not worth the time. I get quite a few now I still haven't posted that many videos, but some of my shorts get comments every day on the shorts and stuff. I think the main one would be if someone attacking my character would be the one I would try to defend. If they're just talking about this idea is not correct or whatever, like that's whatever.
Corrections?
Yeah, corrections or things like that. I'm like, okay, whatever. But if they attack me personally or my character, I think that's where I'm like, man, I need to defend myself. But I'm like, it's at the end of the day, it's just not worth it.
No, it's not.
You're just arguing with trolls or whatever, these people that don't understand who you are as a person. It's just not worth your time and energy.
They don't understand the process of what you're doing.
Exactly.
Like they don't get like, I kind of talked about this last episode, but briefly. But I've been doing these just because for some reason I wanted me to be above 10K on Instagram. I don't know why. It was just something I wanted to do. I'm like, I should be able to do that. I'm past 10K on YouTube. I should be able to do this on Instagram. And shorts, since my videos are starting to take longer to make, just because I'm not relying on reviews anymore. I'm not the army takes forever to build. So and I'm trying to figure out what I really want to focus myself on, aside from the military stuff. So then it just takes me longer to brainstorm and longer to do stuff. So I have 3 videos right now, ideas that are just sitting there because I've already restarted recording, but it just takes forever to put all this work into 8 minutes.
Oh, 100%. I know the struggle.
So, I know you completely understand. Yeah. But the shorts is a good way to get my my endorphin rush, just to get it out there. And what I found interesting is making people argue with each other. Oh, I thought I'd do very well on TikTok, and it did at first for me. I would be like, what do you think is better, this F-18 or this ghost ship? Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Completely unrelatable and doesn't matter what the answer is. But then you see the comment section and just people are going at it.
It's so in depth. I've seen some of the comments like, "Oh, this stat or blah blah blah." They're like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
they're like,
the X-wing has this."
Oh, you saw that the X-wing versus the F-22?
Yeah.
It's just people just go, and I'm like, I mean, I'm not arguing. I'm like, okay, I get out of it. Like, if the only time I respond is like, where'd you get that F-22? I'm like, oh, Brickmania, and that's where you get it. But the big one for me right now, which I'm just baffled by, is the would you care if Lego did a military set?
Oh,
So the latest reel that I just did when I'm recording this, it did whatever on YouTube, did whatever, didn't do anything on TikTok. It was like 400.
it's so interesting how that happens.
It's U.S. military. I knew they weren't gonna.
Oh.
They weren't gonna mess with that.
Then
Usually when I talk about military stuff on TikTok, it doesn't.
it tanks.
It tanks, and I don't, for reasons, I don't post military stuff on there, just for OPSEC reasons.
Yeah.
But on Instagram, for some reason, it just blew up. Like it exploded due to the comments of people like, no, I don't want them to do that. Just whatever their reasons backing. And then, people are getting political, and I'm just looking at them like, wow.
You stirred the hornets.
And I'm like, and it's still going to this day. And it gained me 2,000 followers. Like,
that's wild. Yeah.
Like in a week. And I'm like, huh. But I don't know if that's something I want to post on my own YouTube. And I never thought that I'd be in the time, in the frame of where, okay, now I got to really be strategic in where I post these short form content.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want this to be my audience of stupidity on my YouTube channel. And like, is that a risk that you feel that you're going to have when you're doing content for a mass audience? Because at this point, it's like, you're just throwing everything out there, hoping that everybody comes over to you.
Yeah. Cause I'm still a pretty small channel in the grand scheme of things.
No, but your views don't see that. It's so much more. I'm
essentially with every new video, I'm reaching a new audience.
Always.
I mean, I'm building that returning viewer base, but every video is basically a new audience, which can be a good thing or a bad thing.
What do you see it as?
I think for my purposes, it's a net positive. That's one of the hardest things to do on YouTube is reach a new audience. Yeah, and so if you're able to reach a new audience every video, that's, I think, overall a good thing. It's the thing there is, can you retain that audience that you've reached, which is the hardest thing to do. Second to reaching the new audience is keeping them. Yeah. I mean, I think that's overall the hardest thing on YouTube is keeping people watching your videos. Keep clicking, and for them to, when they click on other videos of yours, that your library is something that they want to keep. Yeah. Because that foretells your future, right? Like, okay, yes, cool stuff. I'll continue to exactly. So I think if I set the expectation that this is the type of video I'm doing, the theme, it could be Minecraft, it could be Star Wars, it could be a random challenge video, but the overall style of the video is the same each and every time. I mean, it's going to shift a year from now. My videos are going to be slightly different, hopefully better, or they will be better, I should say. But if people can click on a video from 6 months ago and then watch one today and they're like, oh, this is basically the same video, then that's a good thing, I think, if they enjoy that style. Because that's just something that's hard to do on YouTube in terms of keeping up to date with what's going on, the trends and styles of videos, and keeping with that shifting landscape of YouTube, because it's always changing. Who knows what like a YouTube's going to look like 2 years from now?
Right? I'm genuinely curious to see.
People thought this split thumbnail TD stuff was going to die down, but it doesn't. So far, it doesn't seem to be dying down anytime soon, and it's been going on for over a year now. Yeah, and it's only growing. I mean, there's. I know
it's not only. I thought it was I didn't know it was like a big thing throughout all of YouTube.
I didn't either until I started on my path of doing, kind of shifting my goals and what I want to do with the channel. And I just found all these big I didn't even know about Brick Science. There's people like B3. I don't know if you've heard of him. Yeah. Master Builders, these huge channels that are pulling million plus every video. I'm like, that's wild that's wild just in general on YouTube. But for Lego YouTube, I mean, it's kind of mind blowing. Like in particular, TD, he's probably one of the most viewed people on the entire platform in terms of long form videos. I can't find anybody outside of Mr. Beast that can get an average of 10 million plus a video or 20 million plus for that matter. I can't think of anybody else that I know of that reaches that kind of audience.
Do you follow anybody that doesn't follow that format and still has a large audience? Not family content.
In Lego YouTube?
No, in general, like in YouTube, that's above 1 mil.
Moist Critical.
He's like the exact opposite of what you do. He just sits in a camera and talks.
I can thank Ryan for that one. It's just good stuff to listen to when I'm doing whatever. I just put it on the background.
Oh no, I like what I like it when he gets into beefs. Not that I want him to get into beefs, because like he just puts them to shame.
It's stuff that I'll never do, so I'm like living vicariously through somebody.
Let's just see what he's going to say about this person or whatever, and then just kind of put him in place as a whatever he wants to talk about. But if you look at what he's doing, he's not doing anything.
I know, and he's still few million.
I'm like, video. So it's like, and we look at other creators, like there are anomalies out there. I guess main characters, as the Z's would say. I felt so stupid saying that. That just win no matter what they do.
And I think that's what we were kind of talking about, the idea based creator versus the personality based creator. And I think he lumps more in that personality / he's entertaining, funny. He just is good to listen to. Like you could just the stuff he says, I'm like, how does someone think of this? I have no idea. It would take me a year to even think some of these jokes he pulls out. It's just a different strategy to YouTube. And I think there's different avenues to YouTube. I mean, there's two main avenues on YouTube, and it's just kind of like picking what's your strong suit.
Which way you want to travel.
Yeah, which way you want to travel.
You want to stress yourself out for a 1 month video for 8 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I enjoy the process of it, pretty much of all of it. And I think that's, if you're someone who doesn't enjoy steps in that process, it's going to be hard to do, because it's a lot of work. And unless you're outsourcing that work to other people, if you don't enjoy, or at least are okay with doing one of those steps, it's going to be really tough to do that long term. Yeah, that's true. And I think that's why I'm pretty confident. As people probably don't know, I'm getting laid off. I was gonna bring that up. I guess somewhat. I'll just bring that up. So January next, in like 2 months, I'm going to be laid off from my. I've been working. No, it's all good. It's been in the works. I knew it was coming. It was supposed to be next summer, but it just got moved up. So I've been 4 years at my company, software engineer. So I'm making a comfortable living. I had known about this earlier in the year when I posted that first Minecraft. Right about that time, I found out that, hey, we're going to be starting to lay people off next summer. So I'm like, okay, I got a year and a half. Like I can really put things together. And now just 2 or 3 weeks ago, I got moved up to January. So I'm like, well, I guess the timeline's moving up 6 months.
It's getting real.
So I've been strategically trying to grow my channel and figure out the style of video I want to do and what can grow me the fastest. I think so far I've done a pretty good job. Yeah.
I mean, you've surpassed like all of us.
Except for Ryan.
One day. I mean, so Ryan, I don't know if Ryan ever has to do that flip. He's on that personality side.
He's got that core.
He has a loyalty.
Yeah, he has that loyalty that is hard to get.
Do you think that type of loyalty is hard to make in the type of content you do? Because I was watching TD run around at Brickworld. You like that, huh? Yeah. So and genuinely, mostly everyone knew who he was. Yeah. Right? Because he's TD Bricks and we're all in Lego. And if you're especially a content creator, you know who he is. And remember when you were there like 2 years ago and TD popped up in BrickCon? Yeah. Everyone was like, oh, TD. He wasn't even there, but like he showed up for like a split second. Everyone knew who he was. So that kind of tells the audience that he's created within not only Lego space, but outside. But when I was watching him going around, genuinely, it was the kids, like young children that were really like fascinated by going up to him versus when I turned to Ryan's line, there are kids, but
it's more that like 18 to
18, 19, 20 or above. And you also have the children with their parents there. Yeah. So like for longevity purposes, like, do you think that's a risk? Because the kids will age out of some stuff.
Yeah, I think there's always a risk, but it's like there's always going to be a new cycle of kids. So I guess it's capturing. That sounds so wrong. I know, capturing that new audience. You know, it might change what their interests are, but I think that's in general on YouTube is being able to stay up to date with what's happening. Current. And you've seen, I mean, there's so many examples of big YouTube channels that pull like 10,000 views and they've got 10 million subs. And it's like, wow, what happened there? How did they go from 10 million subs and getting million plus on each video to now barely breaking 10,000, which is crazy.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Especially this is your life.
Exactly. I mean, it can happen to anybody. I think it's just if you can adapt and stay up to date with what's changing. I think if you're not willing to change, that will be the death of you on YouTube for sure, because YouTube is all about, I mean, the algorithm controls everything. If you're not pushing out what the algorithm likes
or audience,
you can replace algorithm with audience.
There you go.
If you're not putting out what the audience likes or their interests are, then you're gonna tank.
Fall.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been fascinated with how, like, I guess I know. I for some reason, I'm just thinking about him more recently, just because he's
mind blowing.
Yeah, I just watched the documentary that was of him, like that was made like a year ago, and then and once I clicked that, it just went on a trail of like what my YouTube is recommending me. So I've just been like listening to what he's talking about, and that was one of the us switching the word algorithm to audience is something that he promotes. So and that's, I think a lot more creators need to look at it that way. Is that 100%. What is your audience like into watching, and not as opposed to YouTube not recommending my videos?
Yeah, people, I think especially newer creators, and I don't want to sound like I'm not a newer creator, but I do listen to so many podcasts. I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
To Colin Samir, Think Media, all these different things. And a lot of the biggest misconception with newer creators is that the algorithm is against me, or like I'm getting shadow banned, or I'm like the algorithm doesn't want to promote my videos. It's because I'm small, or what. If you post a video that people want to watch, it's going to get views.
Yeah.
And that's a matter of fact. That's plain and simple. The algorithm promotes content that people want to watch.
Yeah, no, totally. And I guess a good way to look. That's just such a cool use. Sorry, I got distracted by Jesus. Oh, that was so cool.
I got some big ones up there.
I was like, oh, that's pretty nice. Damn, I just thought. No. That being able to reflect on why a video doesn't perform the way you think it's going to do is something that every creator needs to understand.
Yep.
And like, you can go into thinking that this video is going to do amazing, based on your packaging or the video that you make or the idea that you have. But then, okay, I'll just use myself for example, right? The last video I did, actual video, is, it was this dude, the new one I'm about to do. I have every modular building. It's true. I have every modular building. You type it in on YouTube to see what pops up, and you'll see videos that look like that or somewhat close, but they're dated. So really dated.
That's going to be a good video.
Yeah, so hopefully I do this pretty well, and I'm putting a lot of effort and time into it, and it's going to take more than a month to do. So I kind of just gave up on my other two videos in between. Being able to like stop on a video, be like, this isn't going to perform well. If that's what you're aiming for, then you can move to the side or move it to a later date. But that type of video that I'm trying to do, I got to think about, is this real? This is not going to reach 1 million too. There's no way. This is not an idea for an idea video like what you're doing, right? It's a very niche within the community, still a niche within it. So I have to be realistic on how much it will gain as far as views. And then, so that idea aside, even if it doesn't perform, I got to figure out why. Yeah. Was it the click-through rate? Was it the retention? And usually that deals with, you're obviously the thumbnail, and then how long they stick within the first 30 seconds, and then obviously how long they stick after that. And then Mr. Beast introduced he didn't really introduce, it's always been there, but the autoplay.
Oh,
yeah. So now I'm like, I didn't really pay attention to it. I mean, I knew of it, but I didn't pay attention to it. And I'm like, you're right.
Yeah, it's important.
So I noticed on short form content, and I didn't do this until recently. I think this is the reason why my last two did pretty well. And I've had good reels, but now more so, I always loop all my shorts and reels, right? I always loop it, whether it be, and it's very easy. I don't know why people don't do it.
It's
all you have to do is put
hack.
So, because, or like a conjunction to like another idea. It just loops, right? And if you cut it just right, it plays automatically. But I found it where if I cut the last, and then this isn't new news either, but if I cut the last part of it, because the way I do my reels is like, I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
So, but if you hover over it, you don't want to see me talking to you, especially if you're new. You only want to see me talking to you if you know who I am.
Yeah.
So if I loop the end clip, like I'll extend it, cut, and then put that in the beginning, the autoplay doesn't play me. It plays that beginning of the idea.
Oh.
So when it loops, when I'm saying and, because, or, it loops with the video. So it's just one super clean circle that goes
smart
around. I'm like, oh my God. And that's, I think on Instagram, at least, I don't know how it's going to do on YouTube, but it blew up.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
that's really smart.
I'm like, oh shoot. I know a lot of people do that. So, not like that exactly, but they try to loop the thing. And that's how you get the 145% retention rate.
Yeah, no, it's crazy what people get.
The audience doesn't understand that, this is the same video. Yeah. It just keeps going.
Tricking them.
But to be able to bring that in a larger scale, right? to an actual video for them, like to make someone stay past what's the ideal number? 60% of a video.
Yeah, if you can get 60%, that's wild. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my clone video did. It started at
it's 60. Wow.
No, it started at 82.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, that's with your core audience.
But the click didn't hit.
Oh.
So that's when I switched the thumbnail right away, immediately. And that's why it sounds like, hey, when did you switch the thumbnail? Like, I did immediately. Because I was at 82% retention rate. And then I'm like, but the click-through rate was horrid. It was like a 6.2 or something. It was low.
Yeah, on the first day.
Yeah, on the first, that's bad. So then I switched it. It jumped to 15%. And then it just started, does the shrink thing. So I kind of missed the window in my idea. And I accept that. See, so when I look at it, I'm like, okay, as far as packaging, I kind of missed, but I didn't. I kind of saved it. But then I think back again, I'm like, type in clone army video.
It's so
many out there. So then, and that was the reason why I'm like, okay, I gotta switch the Skittle look because that thumbnail is not gonna look like the rest of them. But the idea is not new. It's been around. Yeah. So what's the probability of a Lego fan clicking that? Like, now I was just using that as an example of how, like, as a creator, you have to reflect on why something doesn't perform and you move on right away. Like, you don't just dwell on it.
Yeah. I mean, I also did the clone video.
Yeah,
and
you did.
That's one of my...
Your video actually is like the top video recommending my video.
Yeah.
So thank you.
There you go. It's on the lower end of my performance. It's like at 76,000.
That's high.
Which is, I mean, for me, is
for me, that's high.
But like, my goal at least right now is like 100K, and it's like a 5 of 10 or something right now. Yeah. So it's one of my lower videos, but as you said, there are so many clone videos that people have done. So I think that kind of affects it a little bit. There's people have done 10, 15, 20 of those videos. So it's at some point there's going to be a saturation effect where it's essentially the same video every time.
Yeah, but at that point it becomes best title, thumbnail wins.
Yeah, and those people who had that video out a year ago or 6 months, they have the advantage there. But people, there's another thing is you don't need to take it personally when a video doesn't do well. It's not. And that doesn't mean the video is bad either, by any means. When I say like the audience didn't want to watch it, that doesn't mean the video was bad. It's maybe just the topic didn't hit. Or like you said, the thumbnail or the title didn't hit. There's so many factors on YouTube, but it doesn't necessarily mean, oh, this is a bad video, so nobody's going to watch it. It's just there wasn't an audience to watch that video. Yeah. And learning to not take that personally is a big thing on YouTube.
Not taking anything personally.
Yeah, in general, you have to think of it as like, it's just from the creator side, not from the personal, like people didn't want to watch me talk about this or do it's not that. Just every video is a new video, and you just got to move on to, if a video doesn't do well,
you have to improve,
move on to the next one, try to learn why that, what was the reason this video didn't do well, and carry that on to the next video. And I don't think that's just on YouTube, but YouTube is there's kind of a science to it nowadays, but
it's a fickle science.
Yeah. It's not always a hit. There's lots of misses, but yeah, there's so many factors that affect a video's performance and just your channel's growth. And it's an interesting time to be on YouTube, I think. Yeah, especially in the Lego space.
With the influx of people coming in, the style of video that's out there, the expectation of what a Lego video should be is not where it was when we started.
And I think it's harder to enter that field in terms of just the barrier to entry. But I think there's so many examples of how you can do a video well, and how you can get a video that performs well. Okay. If you just look around, I think you just need to
walk us through that then. So let's see it.
Yeah. So, I mean, from my side, when I was first starting, the first month or two, it was all just, I need to research and learn how do I make a good video just in general. So watching like editing tutorials, how to do lighting, you figure out settings on your phone, because I'm still record with my iPhone. Eventually want to upgrade, but like, I mean, you work with what you got. Yeah. At the end of the day, the sound is key. That's the number one thing. Yep. Video is second, and then editing. So, I researched all that stuff, and then watching like Think Media, Colin and Samir, all these different YouTube.
Love Colin Samir.
Yeah, they're so good. All these YouTube gurus, whatever you want to call them, but they have a lot of good. I mean, that's what people call it. Yeah. They have a lot of good insight, and a lot of it's going to be same stuff that's been repeated over and over again. Yeah. But just listening to I would listen to that stuff for weeks on end, just in the car, while I'm cleaning.
Yeah, it's how to improve videos.
Yeah, and it's not like a magic formula. Like if I watch this video now, I'm going to be a famous. No, it's just that little extra bit. Like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that about that stat on YouTube or whatever. And then learning what those buzzwords on YouTube are: click-through rate, thumbnail, retention, CPM, RPM, all those things. Like just knowing those things in your YouTube analytics are super important. and then researching your niche. So like if you're like, this is what I want to do, Minecraft YouTube, that's a tough one to enter.
Yeah, that's
but
cool.
like I want to do Lego YouTube. Okay, well, what are you interested in Lego YouTube? And there's even in Lego YouTube, there's so many different creators. There's reviewers, mockers, now like the faster pace style. There's people that just record them building. So finding what in or where in that niche you want to be, and then look at all the top creators, top 10, top 15, watch their videos. What are they doing? And how can you not necessarily copy, but what are they doing right that makes their videos perform well every single time? It's a hit every time. Because that's hard to do. Hitting or chasing that viral video is tough. But when you're able to do it every single video, they're obviously doing something right. So what in that formula can you take and add to your own style and implement that in your own videos that you want to create or that you're interested in? So I think that's the biggest thing is just you got to research and you got to just like fully immerse yourself in everything Lego YouTube and just YouTube in general. And I think the biggest thing is if you want to be like the big YouTuber, you got to enjoy not just the Lego. Obviously, you need to love the Lego. That's the main passion, but you got to love YouTube too. If you don't,
it's a different hobby.
Yeah, that I love the YouTube. So I'm just looking at like channel analytics and like just theorizing, like how can I keep the person's retention here a little bit more? What can I do to make somebody want to watch more? You got to love that. I think a big part of that, you got to love the YouTube aspect of it as well. I mean, you're probably in the same boat there. So yeah, I think there's a balancing act. But yeah, for me, I'm like, in some ways you have to be almost a YouTuber first before a Lego creator in some ways, actually.
Yeah, I see that.
And you can kind of see that in TD. Like I would almost consider TD like a YouTuber, and not at this point in his career, like a YouTuber, not like necessarily like a Lego creator.
That's true.
He's more like, if you think of TD, it's more like, oh, he's a big YouTuber, he's a big Lego YouTuber.
That's
it's
true,
because he's just massive now.
Yeah, you just see who he's rubbing elbows with.
Yeah, so it's like he's in that YouTuber echelon now. He's not like a niche Lego creator.
Yeah, I totally agree. That it's funny. I never thought, like when I watched him like 4 years ago, he would be that guy.
It's crazy. I mean, it excites me. Like I get excited thinking about like the opportunities that he has. I'm like, man, if I was able to work really hard and get to 25%, 10% of that, like that would be awesome.
Yeah.
And, like, how can I get there? And that's, I don't know, it just excites me thinking about that kind of stuff.
We don't have a choice now.
Yeah, I know.
It's no longer a hobby. It's a job.
Exactly. That's it. Oh, I guess I didn't fully mention that I'm trying to do this full time. The wife, Emily, is on board, which is the most important part. When you're in a marriage, you gotta have that communication.
Have that approval.
Yeah. So
and supported.
We're fortunate. I think having a house and like having relatively low costs of living to being able to make that decision, that was kind of made for me in terms of like, I'm getting laid off, but I could try to find another job, and I think I could do that pretty easily. But it's almost like, I don't want to think back 10 years from now and be like, man, I wish I had taken that opportunity to at least try Lego YouTube. I'm going to, give it a shot for a year and a half and see how it goes. And if it's really not going well a year and a half from now, I think I could pretty easily jump back into what I was doing before. But yeah, I don't want to have a regret like that 10 or 15 years from now. I don't have any kids. We have a house. We don't have a whole lot of bills. We don't have like car payments or anything like that. So like, when else is there going to be a better time?
You have no debt.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Now's the time.
So like, when else can I make this? I certainly not going to do it if we had a kid or something. Like that would be, or it'd be a lot tougher decision to make, I guess. But yeah, I'm kind of like, I just don't want to look back and regret not making that decision. So I'm like, you know what?
Take that risk.
Just give it a shot.
You're doing good, dude. So like, I remember when you came on Cali Brick Click, that growth from that day till now.
Well, that was when I was doing whatnot stuff or whatever. I don't know. I was figuring out what I was doing, Twitch, whatnot, YouTube, sort of.
Do you think like knowing that the inevitable is happening with your career kind of really motivated you to get where you're at with your YouTube?
I think so. Yeah, that was a big part, because I've always loved YouTube. It was more so just like getting myself to start. I think that's the hardest part on anything, is just starting. And then once you start, it's so much easier after that. But yeah, I think that was the big push, because right when I was working on that Minecraft video, I got the news. I'm like, shoot, I'm going to make this video really good then, because I want to do well. Yeah. Now it's my best video so far that I've done. But yeah, I definitely think that's a big push. You shouldn't do YouTube just for the money, because if you go into YouTube like, I just want to be rich. That's a bad way, I think, to look at it. For me, I just want to make a comfortable living at this point. Like if I can make even half or a third or 3/4 of what I was making in like a year or two from now, I would be fine with that.
Yeah.
I'd be more than happy with that because the added flexibility and the ability to do what I'm really passionate about, I think it's outweighs maybe making extra money or.
That's the goal, right?
Yeah.
To love what you're doing for a living.
Yeah. What was the saying? If you love what you do, you won't work a day in your life.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I know there's like people that say don't mix your passions with your hobbies and whatever with your work. If you love what you're doing,
yeah.
I think there's maybe some validity to that. But I've been doing this now for a year, kind of planning and stuff, and I've loved it as much as I did from 10 months ago to I do now, actually even more. So, and maybe that'll change 5 years from now. But like, I wasn't loving what I was doing at work anyway. So like, how is that any different? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get it. I totally get it. Like I don't love what I do at work. I just love the balance it gives me. And that's the first time I've ever had balance. I've never had that.
Yeah.
So I can and cannot relate. So yeah, I understand. I know there's other bigger YouTubers out there now who have children or just had some. So this is and they did just quit for YouTube.
Yeah.
So that added pressure though. Is
I've had conversations with him.
Yeah.
And he's been like, he told me too. He's like, you should just do it, man. He did it, and he was in a much tougher situation in terms of like, wow, he's got a lot of pressure.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure.
For me, I mean, the main pressure is like just being able to, at some point, make a comfortable living. And I think I'm already on that track. So that's why I think I'm also more comfortable making that decision. Because if I was making the decision now and my videos were getting like 1,000 views or 500 views, and went up to Emily and like, hey, I want to do YouTube, and I've made like $50. Like, what are you doing?
Like, no, that's not happening. We got to think about this. Let's reflect on
So I think
you have a catalog now. You have like a little resume of like, look, we can do this.
Yeah. And I think when the first 2 videos, they did well. And, maybe it was, part of me was like, maybe it's a fluke. Maybe I just did good topics or something. And then I posted the 3rd one, did really well. 4th one, I think I'm up to 6 or 7 now. And they've all done really well. So I'm like, I must be doing something right or there's some success there that I'm, I can emulate, I think, in future videos. So I think, like I said, that makes it easier to make that decision. Having that shown that I've done it before in the past. So yeah.
Yeah, you're good, dude. So with that being said, are you coming to Brickworld?
Yes.
Finally.
Yeah, I tried to find a way to bring it back.
So you missed your last one because you had recently gotten married.
Yes, I did.
At that time. Congratulations. I was
you.
there.
Yes, he was.
I was there. The rest of you guys weren't because you know who I'm talking to. You missed Chicago because it was like right afterwards.
Yeah, and now you're in Norway.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to talk about that because I'm really interested in like Viking culture because of
it's we can talk about it. It's a beautiful, beautiful country. Highly recommend anybody.
I want to go to Norway just because of whatchamacallit Vikings. I love that show.
Oh, dude,
I love that show.
Yeah, part of it was, I don't know about Norway, but part of it was filmed in Iceland.
Oh, it was in Iceland.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, it was in Iceland.
Yeah, when Floki
kind of moved that way.
Yeah.
And then to Greenland.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Brickworld, you're going to Brickworld. So when we all went to Brickworld like 2 years ago, that was like right after COVID, and like it was oh my God, there's a lot of people here, or it was also like, we're kind of getting back into smoother things, but that blew up the following year.
Yeah,
which you missed.
I've heard, but it's hard to.
So you got your ticket?
Yeah, I got my ticket.
Did you get your hotel?
Got a hotel, except for the one night.
That Wednesday.
I'll figure that out. If I have to, I'll sleep in the hotel.
You'll
lobby.
be fine. I mean, like, what is your expectation for it now? Like, do you think it's going to be mimicking last year? Do you think it'll be crazier? Do you think it's going to be the last time ever? Because it might be too much, where people are just like, they don't want to experience this the following year.
I mean, I just heard stories of what it was like last year. I know it was. What would you say, maybe 20-30% bigger than 2 years ago?
As far as
like just
people
there on the private days, and then
okay. So remember when we had our lobby time, right? How it was just kind of cornered in the first section by like the stair seats, right? Yeah. Just like as you go up the elevator, as you go up the escalators and you go towards the right to the elevators, it was just kind of centered there, maybe a little bit on the other side, right? This time around, it wasn't like that. It was like that side, the other side.
Oh wow!
The lounging areas in between the front lobby to the restaurant filled, like all those sections. The restaurant where the Starbucks is at filled, and even the bar area on the other side filled. And that was
crazy.
just at night. If you still decided to walk towards the convention center, the upstairs lounge areas, which nobody hung out at, filled. And then the convention itself filled. So if you can see the drastic differences of what I described, a lot of people that went when we went 2 years ago, we promoted what we can, through however communities we would like, via stories or via pictures or via like a video itself, which then hyped up the following year. And then you have that conversation in like streams and just word of mouth, and it blew up the last past year. So imagine this year coming up. Wednesday's already sold out. It doesn't look like the hotel's going to stay filled. The block's going to be available for much longer. I'm probably aiming for like January. That's probably when it's going to end. Yeah. And then that second block for that next hotel that they reserved, because they added a second block from another hotel last year at the end. Now they have it prepared now. Do you think it's going to keep this momentum? Because I feel like a lot of people are going to be like this year. Because last year I was overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed. Yeah. I brought a mock. I didn't make any content. I told myself I'm not going to make anything like the year before, and that was stressful enough as it is. And you see other people making content, example, TD running around with the sign, which was funny. Or Ryan having his project with the store. That's crazy to see. He always has a project, I guess, for these now. Or you wanting to be a part of whatever your friends are doing. Mm-hmm. There was so many times where I was like, sorry, I can't do this. Or, catch me in the next activity. Or I spoke to so many people in less than a minute time that I felt like I should have given them more time. And it wasn't because I was being a dick. It was just because this is all I can give you right now. I have so much to do. And I feel like it's going to be worse because there's going to be more people example, Greg, that you've never been able to converse in person with. That's true. That you want to have a deeper conversation, which then eliminates you being able to talk to other people that you normally see all the time, or that you don't like your own audience that seems to be around.
Did you help out with Ryan's store?
I did.
Oh, you didn't?
I did. I gave him time that when I was around. Because that
gives you a little bit of time back, right? That was pretty stressful for a lot of people. I think that were helping out because he had so much help from other people. Yeah. So I think that, maybe that gives some people time back, but it's going to be, I don't even know what to expect now. 2 years removed. I'm excited for that. I thrive off the energy. I feel like with that many people, it's kind of being at home, working from home for 40, I'm by myself 90% of the time. So having that week where it's just surrounded by a bunch of people who love the same thing, the passion. I always feel when I come back, I'm ready to go to make Lego YouTube stuff. Yeah, it's inspiring. It is inspiring. And I was inspired 2 years ago, but I was doing way different content back then. Pretty bad content.
Haul videos?
Yeah, haul videos. That was all it was. I think something about that is energizing to me. So I don't know, maybe I won't enjoy it as much. It's hard to say because I think it's going to be so much bigger than when I was there 2 years ago. Yeah. But it sounds like there's going to be kind of a content creator aspect to it, or there was talk about setting up a space for content creators. I don't know if you heard about that.
Yeah, I think it was referring to shows.
Oh, shows.
Brickworld, ACOP. In that aspect, a stage. So I don't know if there's going to be a herd. They put that's what they should do. Just make all the content creators go over there, so that way they're not hogging up all these aisleways so you can see the views. I think they're trying to do something.
Yeah, because I was added to a Discord with some other content creators, and they made a separate chat for Brickworld stuff because they were
where do you want to be?
Yeah, apparently they want to do something with content creators. So I don't know if it's from Brickworld themselves or the content creators are trying to set something up.
I think it's that. I know Mark is trying to set up a stage for shows just so it could be live from Brickworld, blah, 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 blah. I know that. I know Sean the Right Way from ACOB. I know he's a big proprietor and of wanting to do something for creators that makes sense. Yeah. That you don't have this giant line like Ryan wrapping around all these mocks and having all the builders be pissed off. Yeah. Right. So trying to alleviate the animosity between both creator and what brings people there. Or actually the creators bring people there, but why other things are there to not be bad blood between. I think that's something that they are discussing how to better facilitate that.
Yeah, because Ryan, I know in the past has asked for a space because he's aware of the line he brings and that it can be annoying for people that are just trying to get by or whatever. And I know he's asked. I know it for Brick for Virginia. He goes to the back now to just make room. I don't know if last year did they. Well, I guess he had his superstore, so that was
A superstore. Yeah, he had
that
a
was
line.
kind of his way to greet people, right?
Yeah, he was at a store the entire time. People were buying stuff. It was really cool to see that. It was really funny. But the line, the aspect was more controlled. I mean, all his lines are always controlled. Like just wrap around the outside of the space and be mindful. Having that, but I think like having a separate room. Like, I'm trying to think of where that would happen. Like where would you put the content creators?
Yeah, just
without having to rent a room.
Yeah, you'd have to rent because
you rent the room the entire day.
You'd have to.
That's a lot of money because he rents them. Oh yeah, I guess having one of the upstairs conference room, just have it available to all the creators all day.
I think if I was him, I would give one space for creators.
Yeah, just put them all there.
Yeah,
and then
it alleviates a headache too for the the floor, especially on the public days because that's going to be insane.
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah. I feel like a lot of the public days, like if you don't have an audience or want to be around that crazy mess and you're not showcasing, you're gone. Yeah. You just wait till like
that's
it's
true,
over.
Yeah. Most
and
of the people are there. A lot of us are there for the private days mainly. Like unless you're mocking or whatever.
Yeah, having the mock though, it kind of gives you a space to be in the public time and that's also like have a barrier. So you're able to meet. I was able to meet a lot of people just being on the other side of that wall. Yeah, which I think is also very convenient. So maybe if you could bring something.
Are you bringing a mock?
I want to. So I got to figure out how to pack all this. Yeah. So that's one. I'm not bringing the army. That was hella stressful. I'm not doing that again. I'm already worrying about how much it's costing in the air than having to worry about a $10,000 mock coming with me. I want to build something more of a statuette type of thing. So I don't know.
That could be cool.
Yeah. It'll just be tall. It'll just be like this and just tall. So it packs well. If I can do it, I want to build the Soldier's Cross. Are you familiar with that?
I think so.
It's the boots, rifle, and helmet.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
If I can do that by Brickworld, I will bring it. The goal is to have that built by Memorial Day in general because I have this video for it. And it's not even a video dedicated to it. It's just a short. Yeah. It's a short video. There's only so much I could talk about with the Soldier's Cross. I can't make that 8-minute video. That would be or let alone a 4-minute video. But if I can have that done, I will bring that. So
that'd be cool.
Yeah, it doesn't take up space. It's a 2 days.
You can put it in one suitcase.
So there's another thing last year that had a problem that people didn't have space to mock or showcase their mocks. Oh. And I don't even know how I got mine. Like I accidentally reserved. I messed up and didn't reserve 2 tables. I reserved 1 table, 1 4x8, and I looked at it. I'm like, oh, I only reserved 1 2 for my army. It needs to go deep. So I asked, is there a I know we're sold out or short in space. Is there a possibility? And they're like, we'll ask. So they asked all the people in the square, and they made room.
Wow.
So like some of the people they withheld their own mocks from coming. Like Nick Brick Adjuster, he didn't bring everything. He still had a lot of room, but he just sacrificed some mocks. And they gave him a little trophy for it. So like nice. So a lot of people had to pay sacrifice, and I think I don't have to worry about that if it's like it's gonna be tall, but it's only like this much space. Yeah. So
share a table.
I want to bring something in the specs of like I'm at a Lego convention. I want to show that I can make something. And it's just kind of cool to be a part of that part of the Lego space. Yeah. So do you think you're going to bring something? Something small.
I have my Lego Minecraft mocks. I'm like, they're already built to be super, because I have to fly there just like you. I'm like, it's going to break. That would be the easiest thing to bring in. I made them for a video, so I think it could be kind of cool. And they're fun. They're like, I'm sure little kids will get a kick out of it. So like
the Minecraft stuff, easy.
I think that I'm actually strongly contemplating bringing those.
You should. Yeah. Why not? We need to rep fake lug anyways, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because Holly's gonna rip us if we don't.
Yeah, exactly. And I've always wanted to bring a mock or display. So I'm like, it's a good start. Like
it was cool to do. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like actually I've never been to a convention where I have to actually show a mock. Well, I take that back, Bricks LA. But like at a big convention like this, where I actually have something to show off that people were genuinely interested in, and I was like watching all these people. I was kind of creeping, watching people take photos and be like. So it's kind of cool to have that, like, not content created, like, related at all that you're kind of worrying about. It's just really something like what the mockers all feel like.
Yeah, people admiring their work.
The actual basis of what we're all here for, right? It's kind of weird to say this is why a lot of people come to this convention is because of the builds. Yeah. And we forget that sometimes.
Yeah, because I've been going to them now since 2021.
Virginia?
Yeah, Virginia. Yeah. So now, but I've been going as just like going to hang out basically. And like, I look at the Lego, but at a certain point, it's mainly just to hang out with people.
Well, yeah, you're going to look at a Lego.
Yeah. You're going to so long. Yeah, you look at, okay. After the first day, you've seen basically everything. So,
this Brickworld, you won't see it all.
Oh, I'm sure.
You can't. No one, I don't think anybody saw them all.
I'm excited just to see how big it is because Virginia's pretty big too, but this is bigger by far.
This is stupid big.
Yeah.
And it's not like, I'm not talking about scale of like the area. It's just, there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've hyped it up so much by accident, no, purpose and an accident at the same time. There's going to be a lot of people that are not in content creations going to be there. There's going to be a lot of people that don't build at all. They're going to be there. So it's going to be like, there's always a face, right? When we see other creators, you're like, you know who they are. You might have not met each other, but you understand the mutual respect of the grind and all that kind of stuff. Same thing with like mock builders. Like, you know that like they do, you know, outside of creating online, of course, but like, you know, like the builders that are there, they like their lugs and all that kind of stuff. And that there's a mutual respect of understanding of who they are. And then you have all these people in between that don't make themselves known. And like, you're like, hi. Hi. Well, no,
who are you?
Yeah, it's like, who are you? Because they come and they speak to you like you know them. I'm like, I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
But hi, how's it going? My name is Shy. And I'm like, oh, my name's blah blah blah. I'm like, do you have a handle or whatever? Like, no, I don't. And then it's like, oh, okay, so now you're meeting a complete stranger.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so then you put your guard back up. And last year there was problems with some of the women.
I heard about that. Yeah.
So I know security was there. Like they had off-duty police officers like actually working. And in my mind, my military mind and my biker mind, I'm like, this is a problem. Like what? Like looking around, like this is a security problem everywhere.
Oh, 100%.
So there wasn't one moment where I felt completely safe. I mean, I felt safe because I was in a Lego convention, but like, I wasn't like, I was kind of worrying about like, I mean, there were instances where I had to take part in that were not comfortable.
Oh, I'm
for
sure.
other people. So I wonder if that is going to be in control.
I hope so, because that really dampers the mood. I feel like that.
Yeah,
that's the last thing you want at a convention like that, because you're there to have fun and hang out with friends and, you know, meet your fans or meet new people. You don't want to be harassed or whatever else that went on.
It's also like the understanding of their, you know, you're actually, even though you've watched this person forever, right? And that goes with us too. Like when we meet, like I'm just use TD Bricks because he's the overall theme of this, I guess now. Like if we meet TD Bricks for the first time, right? You know him already. You've spoken to him, you've DM'd him, but if you never physically shook his hand, you still want to introduce yourself and be like, hey, it's me, it's Michael.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, how's it going? Like, MKM Bricks, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Brick. Sorry, I pluralized it.
It's Bricks, Brick. Actually, on,
I just realized that.
On TikTok, it is MKM Bricks. That's the only one that will let me.
But like, you know, you give yourself a proper introduction and then there's a hug, high five, and then you come converse after that. But sometimes there isn't. And they don't introduce themselves. And it's just like.
Yeah, like you got to let me know, are you a fellow creator or are you a fan? Like, I mean, you got to have some establishment of who you are. You know? Yeah. I think that it's not even, it's just a kindness thing to do out of kindness to another person. Like, introduce yourself. Who are you? And then, you know, say your piece or whatever you want to do. Like, if I was to meet TD, you know, hey, I'm Michael, MKM Brick. Love watching your stuff. You've been a big inspiration. Thanks for, you know, making Legos so big on YouTube. Like, you know, just give, you know, a quick synopsis.
Yeah.
And I think people think they have access to that person now that they're there and they can like, oh, they're here, so I'm going to hang out with them. But it's
that's like, the thing right there.
I wouldn't go up to Tyler or other B3 or other people and be like, I'm going to hang out with you now because I'm in a Discord or I know you. Like, you know, if they invite me, sure, or what, but you got to be invited or asked, or, you know, there's
proper etiquette.
Exactly. There's no expectation that you get to hang out with that person or be around them for more than, you know, just like Ryan does. You know, he meets and talks to everybody, but you don't get to hog up, you know, all the time that other people also want to meet Ryan and talk to him. So I think there's got to be some mutual respect, some decency there, some common etiquette, which some people I think lack. Unfortunately, were never taught. I don't know.
That was it. I was about to like, I'm kind of lead you up to that point. Like there was a lot of that last year. And I feel like that might hinder the growth of at least creators going to Brickworld. And I don't think it's going to die down as far as like growth. It might die down as far as popularity in the creator space because of how stressful it can be, or it might not. It could actually get 10 times bigger. Yeah. But we don't know. Time will tell, but I'm excited for it. I know you are.
Oh, I'm so excited. Like, and it's like 6 months away.
Almost 6 months away. And my wife is pissed. She's like, because I just bought the tickets. I didn't even buy the plane ticket. I bought tickets to the hotel. And then I told her that I'm going to Brickworld. And she was, and Venus was like, you're supposed to like share a room if you're going to go, but first you're supposed to tell me. And I'm like, well, I need it because I'm doing the podcast and I don't want to like kick the person out every day and tidy up their stuff. Because just like how you clean up when you got here and I clean up when people come to my house, I don't want my hotel room to smell like ass.
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Complete mess, clothes everywhere.
Just imagine me like bringing someone into the room and you're like half naked, like still asleep.
Oh, don't mind me.
Right. I'm just gonna listen in, half naked, like wearing just in your boxer briefs, just looking at us, staring.
Oh my god, that'd be good. That would be a good bit, actually.
That would be funny though.
Like a funny introduction, like as a short or something.
Just you in the background. We'll put his cameras that way and just like sleeping.
Oh, that'd be good.
Oh man. All right, man. So yeah, dude. Thanks for
having me. This is awesome.
Thanks for having me. I technically invited myself to your house.
Well, I wanted to be on one. I was like, oh, this is awesome. He's doing it again. I want to get on.
Well, I was hoping you'd come to Six Flags and do that thing.
I'm still planning. I don't know when. In the next week or two, I want to come up and go to Six. I need to get the footage one way or the other.
Yeah, you have to go down. So I was hoping for that, but I'm like, nah, let me go to your house. Let me see what this is like. Inviting myself to somebody's home.
I don't mind at all.
So yeah, I mean, thanks, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And no, just subscribe to my channel, MK and Brick, if you haven't already. Give the quick shout out.
Yeah, right. No, you should plug yourself. All right, guys. Peace.
Dude,
thanks.
You want a heart to heart,
awesome,
sitting on the
right?
stoop, and
I hope you had fun.
Misfit bricks, this is what we do.